guys, welcome back to another video. We have lots to talk about today, from Xbox Game Pass to some other interesting pieces of news, and we will get into it all. But before we do, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you do like daily gaming news and daily gaming content. Also, check out my Spotify, link is in the description. So yesterday I made a video talking about the major changes coming to Xbox Game Pass. It was a breaking announcement, price increases, as well as a new tier. And a lot of people saw this coming, especially after the acquisition of ABK, especially after Call of Duty being announced going day one into Xbox Game Pass. And I went over all the details, so make sure to go check out that video. But there are a couple of things here that just needed a bit of clarification, and we now have that clarification. Kind of when is all of this taking place if you are an Xbox Game Pass member right now, or if you're signing up today, what is going to happen? So as of July 10th, these are the things you do need to know that will be taking place. Price changes will be going into effect for new members for Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Core, and PC Game Pass. For Game Pass for console, which is the one that is actually going away unless you're subscribed. If you are subscribed already to Game Pass for console and you have automatic payment renewal enabled, you actually get to continue with that membership and everything that comes along with it. But if you aren't subscribed to Game Pass for console, it is now too late. If you're going in as a new member, you will no longer be able to. It's no longer available for new members, but there is Xbox Game Pass Standard that is coming. They don't have an official date. They do say it will be coming available in the next coming months, and they say these changes will enable us to bring members more value and more great games to Game Pass. So that is kind of what I want to clarify, because yesterday I wasn't sure if that was happening right now or if it was happening further in September. But as of right now, all of those things are or should be active with Xbox Game Pass. They also do say here that starting September 12th, the price of recurring charges will change for existing members. So if you're somebody who's subscribed and you have your automatic renewals and everything, you're paying monthly, it will go to that next tier of Xbox Game Pass, or the higher price of Xbox Game Pass, which is about a $3 increase per month. I believe if you have stacked memberships up for another year or so, nothing's going to change until that does end. They say the next new prices will take effect on the next recurring bill charge after the 12th of September. So like if you have it stacked up for a couple of years here, you're not going to get those new prices. So I'm guessing, hey, if you want to go stack your Ultimate now is the time if you don't want to pay those new prices. So those are some of the big things here. Those are some of the changes that are taking effect today, as well as in September with Game Pass and the price increase. And as I said in yesterday's video, I'm not for price increases. Of course, I mean, I'm the consumer. I don't want to pay more money, but I do think it is still worth it. I think the value is still there within Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, especially because you're getting Call of Duty and you're getting all the APK stuff. I want to see more now. I want to see that back catalog dropped in, and I can't wait till we start getting all of the other day one APK games on top of all of the other first party Xbox studios. Now, there is a game coming over to Game Pass. Apparently, this is a rumor, but this is pretty exciting because this is one that I've wanted to play for a while. And generally, games that I haven't gotten to yet do end up in Xbox Game Pass. This is just another one. This comes via Ecstasies, who is leaking here that Deck 13's action RPG Atlas Fallen will be coming to the service shortly. Now, we don't know what shortly means. I'm guessing that means in the next announcement, or maybe the first announcement for August. But Atlas Fallen looks like it is a ton of fun. Very fast-paced action, and there's a lot of cool things you can do within that game. So, but wanting to play that one. But again, this is just a rumor for now, but hopefully this is something that Xbox does bring over to the service. Now let's talk about Hellblade 2, because Hellblade 2 has been an interesting game to see kind of the different takes on the series and on this sequel to the first game. For myself, I've talked about this on my channel before. I've said it multiple times that I've never been a big fan of Hellblade. The first one, I thought it was cool what they were trying to do, but I found the game rather boring. Hellblade 2, I liked more than Hellblade 1 for sure, and I thought that graphically and technically it is an absolute showcase and an incredible experience, especially if you're wearing headphones and you have good audio. And it's just so cool what they were able to do with that. And then the details with the characters and the combat is extremely brutal. I thought that was well done. Now, it's still not my favorite game in the world. In fact, I've been thinking about Ninja Theory lately, and to be completely honest, I would be absolutely okay if they stopped making Hellblade and they moved on to another project and they moved on to something different, going back to kind of their roots of maybe some more action RPG stuff, some like a Heavenly Sword or Enslaved, Journey to the West. Even I enjoyed their take on DMC, Devil May Cry, and a lot of purists of Devil May Cry didn't like it, but I thought the game played very well and was very fun. So I would honestly like to see them going back to kind of making a game like that. But Hellblade 2, in my opinion, is more of a niche game. I know a lot of people talked about it as this massive game that was releasing. It is a big game released for Xbox, but it is definitely more of a niche game for people looking for that more linear experience, more of an experience than anything, and looking for some interesting storytelling in different ways, focusing on some very adult, serious topics. It is more along those lines. And we're seeing that right now shown in the actual sales records for Hellblade 2. It did not sell very well. It didn't break any records. It didn't be on top of any lists, as we have this information here saying Hellblade 2 was released on May 21st following years of teasers and trailers. It was first announced in 2018 and it was penned as being one of the most visually advanced games ever made. And I think it definitely lived up to being one of the most visually advanced games. And to give the game credit, it hits that target just fine. However, it's a testament to the fact that visuals aren't everything, as recent sales data has revealed that the game performed terribly during May 2024. They say Hellblade 2 is a fairly short game, offers immersive, impactful story mixed up with groundbreaking visuals, and it performed fairly well in reviews when it released, but sales not so much. However, US sales data published by Circana has revealed how poorly Hellblade 2 performed when it was released, with the game coming in 37th place overall in the charts for full game dollar sales. On Xbox, it ended up in 21st place in terms of player count. It fell behind the likes of Fallout 76, and on Steam it peaked at just 3,892 players. And I feel like for a lot of people, they're looking at that and they're completely shocked out of their minds that this is the case for Hellblade. Now, maybe I wouldn't have expected it to be that low, like 37th place. I maybe wouldn't have expected it to be there, but I honestly at no point was expecting Hellblade 2 to be a top seller because of the style of game it is, because of it's, like I said, more of a niche title, whether we want to believe it or not. And it's not one of those big hitters, one of those big games as a service games that has huge communities coming in and jumping in and playing. So that's where it is. I don't know what this means. I don't know how much money Xbox would have lost on this game, or if they really lost a huge amount or not, if they're happy at all with the overall sales numbers of it. But I'm guessing they probably didn't meet some of their targets here for sales. And will this have an effect on Ninja Theory going forward is the question, especially because people saw what happened when they closed studios like Tango Gamers. You're going to have those questions popping up now because of the sales numbers for Hellblade 2. Now that's just in May, maybe in June, people ended up playing it more and checking it out, but we will see. I highly doubt that would be the case. And the question here too is, what is next? We do know actually that there was another project apparently greenlit from Ninja Theory on top of Project Mara. So what is that? Is that Hellblade 3, or is that something within a new project that they were thinking of working on? But that is the Hellblade 2 information. Okay, let's talk about this one here, because this one is becoming a bigger story, I should say. We heard about all the news about AC Shadows, and then there was all of the people on YouTube making videos talking about AC Shadows and the DEI stuff, and all of these things were going in with this game. They showed off gameplay for this game. I thought it looks phenomenal. To me, AC Shadows is on top of my list for games I'm excited to play this year. I can't wait to jump in and play it. There is the whole thing with Yasuke and him being a black protagonist in Japan, and people didn't like that. People wanted to see a Japanese as the male character, although there is a Japanese character here as the female character you can go ahead and play. And now it seems like there's a petition to actually cancel AC Shadows. It says here in Japan, and this is specifically in Japan, a change.org petition has surfaced to ban Assassin's Creed Shadows. It has now seen a fair few weeks since Ubisoft lifted the lid on Assassin's Creed title, announcing a dual protagonist adventure set in feudal Japan, a setting that fans have been desperate to experience for many years. And to be fair, like, just even if you are against the characters or you don't like what they did here, the game itself and the gameplay, I'd be hard pressed to say that doesn't look fun. I mean, I think that looks phenomenal based off of what they did show. It looks like it is going to be really cool. Just the different styles of combat, the way the armor is falling off, especially the stealth. I mean, I am a Assassin's Creed fan, so maybe I'm just biased, but I think it looks very, very good. But they have a huge petition here that I think has actually reached about 75,000 signatures at this point, which is pretty crazy. But this is what they are saying here with this change.org petition. Recently, the lack of historical accuracy and cultural respect has been a serious issue regarding the upcoming game Assassin's Creed Shadows by game developer Ubisoft. The game is based on Japanese samurai and ignores the fact that samurai were a higher class of warrior class and would have been gokinen, or servants of nobles. And I don't know these words very well, but again, I don't know the entire history behind all of this stuff. It says, in fact, the first European to receive the title of samurai, William Adams, served Tokugawa Ieyasu as a 250 koku hatamoto. In this history, Ubisoft continues to misunderstand the nature and role of samurai. This is a serious insult to Japanese culture and history and may also be linked to Asian racism. We call on Ubisoft to immediately cancel the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows and show sincere research and respect for Japanese history and culture. We need your signature. Sign this petition to let Ubisoft know the importance of cultural respect and historical accuracy. Now, I don't think this petition is going to have any effect on anything. The game isn't going to get canceled, and it's still going to be a very, very high selling game because there are tons of AC fans out there. And again, like I said, the game does look phenomenal. But I mean, this isn't the first time we've seen Yasuke in video games. I mean, you never saw this type of outrage. It's interesting what's happening here. As someone who's a fan of it, we'll just continue to see going forward how it turns out when it does release, if there is more pushback or if it does meet sales records and everything. I have a feeling this game is going to sell an insane amount of copies. All right, jumping over here to something I think is pretty cool if this is actually going to be feasible and works. And if you know anything about my channel, I love the fact that Xbox has done backwards compatibility across multiple generations. I also love how they can do tinkering in the dev mode to add emulators and things like that. And I like that kind of has pushed PlayStation to bring more backwards compatibility. They've brought PS4. They're, I believe, now looking into PS3. I wish they would bring more natively their older generations. You can play them via the cloud and stuff, but I do love game preservation, the ability to jump into older catalogs. One of the catalogs I've been waiting for is PlayStation 3 on the PS5. So I hope if they are actually working on it, it does come true. But it looks like it's going to be coming to Xbox before the PlayStation 5 because of the emulation abilities that the Xbox does have. This is a new report here, a new important update to the developer mode on the Xbox Series X and S consoles that can now run PlayStation 3 games. It has been reported by Modern Vintage Gamer that highlights how the Xbox Series S in particular is still an emulation beast. And it is. I mean, I've tried emulation on the Xbox Series S. It works phenomenally well. But the developer mode was recently updated with Mesa, OpenGL, Vulkan support, which in theory could make PlayStation 3 and even Nintendo Switch emulation possible. And as of now, this new development has made it possible for the Nintendo 3DS emulator Citra to run on the Xbox Series X and S relatively well for being in the alpha stage, they do say here. So if you are looking to play PlayStation 3, you may be able to play on your Xbox before your PlayStation 5, which is crazy to think about. One of the examples that was used here was Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, which still is locked to the PS3. And it's one of the major reasons why people want PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility and why game preservation is so important. When you have games that are locked to a single console, it kind of goes away after a while, especially if they are in the older generations. But it does run here on the X and the S, which is crazy. This is the first time we are seeing that since it isn't being able to be played on the PS5 via proper PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility. So backwards compatibility, your PS3 games are now going to be able to be played on Xbox before they're actually being able to be played on the PS5. Honestly, not that surprising based on what we have seen so far with the amount of emulation and things that is available here on the Xbox consoles. And speaking about PlayStation, they've actually lost a pretty big role here for the upcoming Wolverine game. The narrative lead is leaving Insomniac, going to CD Projekt Red. This says here that Marvel's Wolverine PS5 story lead Mary Kenny has announced her departure from Insomniac Games for CD Projekt Red. Her move comes months after Wolverine lost art director Hiran Habibpour to CDPR. So they're kind of falling off here. They are leaving Insomniac, going to CDPR, and I guess in the midst of the development of one of their biggest, if not their biggest, upcoming first party title that people are extremely excited for. We haven't seen really anything of this. We saw the initial trailer, and then of course we saw the Insomniac leaks, which is very old model probably of the game by the time we see it next. And they're losing some people that are high up working on this game, I wonder how it is affecting it. I mean, Insomniac doesn't really miss, in my opinion. I think they make phenomenal games. They are my favorite PlayStation studio because I think they focus more on the gameplay aspects of their games more so than the cinematic and narrative aspects. And I'm good with that because I'm a gameplay first type of gamer. But I think them losing some big players here will potentially have some effect, or maybe they did their job and they leave their knowledge for whoever is taking over. So we'll see what happens here with Wolverine. I'm expecting to see this game again in 2025. I mean, we should be seeing this game again in 2025. And just a couple of quick more things here. There's a really cool crossover going on with Overwatch 2. If you haven't heard yet, they are actually having a Transformer overlap here, a collaboration between Overwatch 2 and Transformers. It says here that Overwatch 2 teams up for another exciting collaboration, teaming up with the iconic Transformers franchise, featuring 4 all-new legendary skins for some of Overwatch 2's heroes. You can now fight in epic battles as Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and then you're taking on as well Megatron. So very cool stuff here. A lot of people I've been seeing and hearing trying Overwatch 2 or jumping back into it just because of this crossover. If you're a fan of Age of Mythology, there is a closed beta here from July 12th to July 14th. So if you pre-order the game, you actually get, or you pre-order the Age of Mythology Retail Premium Edition, you're going to be able to get into the closed beta here from July 12th to July 14th. And another bad blow here for Suicide Squad, a game that just never was able to take off, never succeeded. They've actually delayed Season 2 just 2 days before the release. They put an update here and saying, update, Task Force X will be adjusting the release timing for the next season. Season 2 will now launch on July 25th. Thank you for your patience. So they're delaying it, I guess, a couple of weeks here. Not a huge delay, but it's just a kind of another rough go here for Suicide Squad and the game itself, and Rocksteady as well. But I am going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. We'll be right back.